Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about something important, the power of saying no. Whether it's for a work project, a social event, or a family request, saying no can be uncomfortable, but it is an incredible freeing feeling, and it is more than just a word, it is a superpower. So let's dive in to see how setting boundaries is essential for your well-being and saying no can truly change your life. Now, why is it hard to say no? For some of us, a lot of us have been conditioned to be people pleasers. We don't want to disappoint others, we fear rejection, and we don't want to be perceived as being selfish. Guys, I apologize for that noise. It seems every day I sit down to record, that is when there's one noise going or the other. So I apologize for that sound. But anyways, we're talking about why is it hard to say no. And like I said, it's because we've been conditioned to be people pleasers. We fear rejection, we don't want to disappoint others, and we're scared of being perceived as being selfish. But it is important to understand that saying yes to everything and everyone can actually be really harmful, both to you and the people you care about. When you constantly keep saying yes, you're spreading yourself too thin, and then you realize that you end up being exhausted, stressed, and sometimes even resentful. And here's the thing, when you're so exhausted, you're not giving your best to anyone, not even yourself. So it is really important that we cultivate the habit in saying no. And now that you've known why it is hard to say no, let's also see why setting boundaries is really important. Setting boundaries is a form of self-respect, self-care. It is a way of showing yourself and other people that your time, your energy, and your mental health is really valuable. Because think about it, you wouldn't want anyone to collect your phone and never return it, because your phone is very important. You're always on that phone 24/7. So you wouldn't want anyone to collect it and not return it at all. So now imagine giving out your time and your energy without other people, other situations considering your needs. So as a self-care, as self-respect, when you set boundaries, you're protecting your time and your energy. Boundaries allows us to prioritize what truly matters to us, whether it's focusing on your career, spending quality time with your loved ones, or perhaps getting that much needed rest you've always needed and wanted. So boundaries, like I say, is just a form of self-respect which helps you protect the things that are most important to you. Now, how is saying no a superpower? You have to understand that when you're saying no, you're not just saying no to a request or an offer. You're taking control of your life and your time. You're deciding where to focus your energy, and that in itself is powerful. I wrote something I would love to share with you guys, and it says, saying no frees you up to say yes to the things that truly matter. It gives you the space to focus on your goal, your well-being, and the relationships that are most important to you. In a world that is constantly pulling us in a million directions, having the ability to say no is a way of protecting your personal power. Now let's talk about how we can say no without feeling guilty, because I feel like the guilt is what stops so many people from saying no. Saying no sometimes can really be awkward, especially if you're not used to it. And like I said, it can be uncomfortable. So I'm going to be sharing a few tips as to how you can practice saying no. And you should also understand that you're not just going to come into saying no at once. It's a work in progress. So it's something you have to keep practicing. So even after this video, you try to incorporate it once, twice, you're not able to fully stand on your no or set your boundaries, it is okay. Just keep practicing until the day you're comfortable enough to say no without feeling awkward or feeling uncomfortable. The first one would be polite but firm. It doesn't have to be rude or harsh. You can easily say, let's say for example, someone invites you somewhere or to an event and you're not feeling up to it, or you have other things to attend to. You can easily tell them, thank you for inviting me, but I can't make it at this point. You're saying no to them, and you're also not giving any room for negotiation. So you just tell them no and don't give them any room to say, what about tomorrow? And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be harsh or rude. Thank them for inviting you or whatever it is they're doing, and tell them, give them any reason as to why you can't come, like you're not available at the moment, or you won't be able to make up with the time, or the time doesn't work for you. Just like saying no and at the same time not giving any room for negotiations. The next would be offer an alternative, and this is optional. if someone asks you to do something, sometimes we might want to help people or have the intention of helping people, but just not in the way they are asking or not in the way they want. So for giving an alternative, if you want, if you choose to do that, you can easily tell the person, oh, I'm sorry I can't help you in this part, let me know if there's any other parts I could help or contribute to. Like I said once more, it doesn't have to be harsh or rude. Saying no doesn't need to come with negativity. So you could either be polite and firm or offer an alternative. And then the last tip, which is my favorite, would be no justification needed. In as much as it shouldn't be harsh or rude, you're not entitled to give detailed explanation as to any reason why you can't show up or you can't meet up with anything. You can easily just say, oh, this doesn't work with me, or this time does not work with me, or I'm not available. As simple as that. You're not entitled to explaining yourself to whoever that person is. A simple no, or I'm not available at the moment, or that time doesn't work for me, is more than enough. So I feel you should try and practice these 3 tips. And just like I say, it won't happen overnight. It's something you have to keep putting into practice. Either you give them an alternative, that is, if you choose to, be polite but firm and no justification needed whatsoever. Let's talk about some of the benefits in saying no. What we benefit from it? You tend to realize that when you've come to a place of you having to say no more often, you feel that you're less stressed, you're more in control of your time, and you're able to give your time to those things that truly matter. You will also find that people respect you more because of your boundaries, in the sense that when you've been able to set a clear boundary with someone or people, they can do anything to you, they can say anything to you, but they know better to not go to that part, to not go beyond your boundary. So that is where the respect comes in for you as well. And honestly, it just feels so good to stand up for yourself. So there are lots of benefits with saying no, and the most enjoyable, and I will say, is you feeling less stress and having more time for yourself and energy to do what truly matters, because that is the most important, isn't it? So next time you feel a hesitation in saying no, you should remember that you're not just saying no or rejecting requests and offers, you're also saying yes to yourself, and that is one of the most important things you can do for yourself. Setting boundaries is a form of self-care, self-respect, and it is something that we all deserve to practice. Now guys, I would love to hear from you guys. What is something you struggle in saying no with, and how does it affect you? I would love to hear the stories in the comment section. Feel free to share. What are those things that you find difficulty in saying no to, and how they affect you? And if you've also mastered the art of saying no and how it has helped you, also feel free to leave it in the comment section. And yeah, let's move into what I've been watching this week. The first I've been watching this week would be The Killer's Game. This one is a bit brutal. No, it's brutal, but it's in a way of like a game show, if that makes sense, like Mortal Kombat in a way. So you should give it a watch. And for this, it is a movie, not a series. But the transition in this movie, guys, it is just, that was one thing I would say that actually captivated my mind in The Killer Games. You can find it on streaming platforms. It's not on Netflix, and it is a recent movie as well, 2024. Really interesting. If you give it a watch, pay attention to the transitions, maybe you will see what I like about it. And then the next will be Tulsa King. This, I was watching it, I think almost a year ago during winter. I started the season 1, and season 2 just started airing, or they started airing season 2, and it is really, really interesting. You should definitely give that a watch. I also resumed Grey's Anatomy. I've been following up with them. They also have a new season airing, so I've been following. So far it's just 2 episodes out, and then for this Tulsa King, I think so far it's either 4 or 5 episodes out. That is a TV show. Grey's Anatomy is also a TV show, but for The Killer Games, it is a movie, and all of this can be found on streaming platforms. The next I've been watching would be Hounds of War. I don't think I can really remember what happened in the TV show or movies. I'm not so sure, but it is really interesting. I know it is an irony to say it is really interesting and not remember, but guys, it is actually interesting. Hounds of War. And then the next one would be Wolves. That is really interesting and humorous. I love the comedy and the humor in the TV show. This is a TV show, and we have Brad Pitt and George Clooney, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is a really, really interesting TV show. The humor, the jokes, everything is really interesting. And yeah, this all I've been watching for this week. If you happen to have the opportunity or the chance, you should definitely give each one of these a try, a watch, a listen. It is interesting, engaging, and interesting. I know I've said interesting countless times, but it is interesting. But what have I been listening to this week? This week I haven't really been listening to anything. I would say the only thing I happened to listen to before this video would be Tyler's deluxe album. That would be the album title Tyler, if I'm not mistaken. She has a deluxe where she added 3 songs. Yeah, and so far I would say I'm feeling just one. I think that is Breathe to You, or what is the name of the song? She added Back to You, Push to Start, and Shake Her. So far I've been feeling Back to You, and I was also able to enjoy her album before starting the video. So that is all I've been watching and listening to this week. And yeah, if this video resonates with you, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop a post. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next week. Bye.